You ever feel like you're just wrestling with an AI coding agent? You give it this huge, detailed prompt, and what you get back is, well, not even close. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to move past just writing simple prompts. We're going to master the art of the AI spec and turn that AI from a confused assistant into a seriously skilled collaborator. And man, this quote from Adi Osmani's article just perfectly captures that frustration, right? We think, okay, more detail has to be better. But with AI, you hit this weird tipping point where more information just becomes noise. So the real question is, how do you find that perfect sweet spot? We're going to break it all down with a simple 4-part roadmap. First up, we'll figure out why these agents fail in the first place. Then we'll get into how to start smart with a solid vision, how to execute well with modular tasks, and finally, how to treat your spec like it's living, breathing code. Okay, let's dive right into the core problem. A lot of us treat these AI agents like some kind of magic box. We just toss in a vague idea and cross our fingers, hoping for a perfect result. And, well, that's pretty much where it all starts to fall apart. And this is the absolute key. The issue usually isn't the AI's capability. It's our communication strategy. It's really that simple. Better specs lead to better code. We have to stop thinking like a prompter and start thinking like an architect. So there's this concept called the curse of instructions. The best way to think about it is like the AI has an attention budget. Research actually shows that as you just pile on more and more requirements in one go, the AI starts to forget the stuff you mentioned at the beginning or in the middle. So that giant single prompt, it's actually doing more harm than good. All right, so if just dumping a huge list of instructions is out, what's in? We have to start smart. This whole section is about taking that fuzzy idea in your head and turning it into a crystal clear, actionable blueprint that an agent can actually understand and follow. Here's the big mindset shift you need to make. Stop thinking about your spec as just a pile of notes. Start treating it like a professional product requirements document, or a PRD. Why? Because AI agents are incredibly literal. They thrive on structure, and that kind of formal document is their best friend. Now check this out. This gated workflow from the GitHub Spec Kit is just a fantastic model to follow. You start with the why, the user story. Then you define your tech stack and architecture. Then you have the agent break that big plan into small, bite-sized tasks. And only then does it start coding, one little piece at a time, with you giving the thumbs up at each gate. And this is gold. It shows you exactly what needs to go in that spec. GitHub looked at over 2,500 agent files, and they found these 6 areas are absolutely non-negotiable. You have to be super explicit about commands, how to run tests, and your file structure. And for code style, show, don't just tell. Give it a real snippet. But most importantly, you have to define those clear boundaries. Okay, so we've got our amazing spec. What's next? We need to manage the execution phase. And this is all about dividing up the work, conquering it piece by piece, and setting up some really important safety guardrails. This right here is the antidote to that curse of instructions we talked about. Instead of one giant monolithic prompt, you give the AI one single focused task from your spec. Implement the user login. Stop. Okay, now implement the password reset. This modular approach is what stops context overload and keeps the quality sky high. Now, as you start to scale up, you've got a choice to make. For most projects, a single agent is perfect. It's simple, it's easy to manage. But if you're working on a huge, complex system, a multi-agent approach can be incredibly powerful. You could have one agent writing code, another one writing tests, and a third one reviewing, all happening at the same time. I absolutely love this takeaway. Don't just give the AI a list of things it can't do. Give it a clear framework, like a traffic light. A green light for safe actions it can always take, like running tests. A yellow light for things that need your approval, like adding a new dependency. And a hard red light for the absolute no-goes, like, committing API keys into the repo. And this quote from Simon Willison, man, it just hits the nail on the head. An AI agent is a lot like an intern, super enthusiastic, really fast, but it totally lacks context and judgment. Your spec is what provides that context. And that boundary system we just talked about, that provides the judgment. You're the manager. All right, let's wrap this up by talking about the long game. A great spec isn't some fire-and-forget document you write once. Nope. The absolute best way to work with AI is to treat your spec as code.
It's a living thing that you are constantly iterating on and improving over time.
It's also really important to know which mode you're operating in. There's vibe coding, which is awesome for quick prototypes and just exploring ideas. But when you're building real production software, you need to switch gears into AI-assisted engineering. And that requires all the discipline, the testing, and the rigorous specs we've been talking about.
So what does this all mean for you? Well, your job is fundamentally changing. You're moving away from being the person who writes every single line of code, and you're becoming the coach who creates the game plan, that's the spec, and the referee who makes sure the agent is playing by the rules.
And as you're stepping into this new role, here are the big traps you've got to watch out for. Vague prompts like "make it better" are the #1 killer. Don't just dump a giant document on the AI without summarizing it. And please, always, always review the critical code yourself. Oh, and keep an eye on that lethal trifecta. These agents are fast, unpredictable, and can get expensive if you just let them run wild.
Here is another golden rule from Simon Willison. If the AI spits out code that's so complex you can't understand it or explain it to a coworker, don't commit it. It's that simple. You are still the owner. The ultimate responsibility for the quality and maintainability of that code is on you. And hey, if you need one last piece of proof, this is it. After looking at over 2,500 agent configuration files, GitHub's conclusion was crystal clear. The #1 reason agents fail is just plain vagueness. Clarity isn't a nice-to-have, it's an absolute requirement. So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. As these tools get more and more powerful, our own values starts to shift. Is the future of software development less about the mechanics of typing out code and more about the strategic art of coaching an AI to do it for us?